We have some returning guests. Gal and Vika from Primo Digital are here with us today, and we're going to be talking about keyword research best practice. So this is really important topic when we want to get our Google gains going, our Google juice going. We want to make sure we're using some really good keywords to attract people to our business and so they can find us really easily. So this is going to be a great opportunity for you to talk to the experts. So really pop your questions in the comment section, the chat function, the Q&A function throughout this session, and get your questions answered by the experts. Make the sessions work for your business. That's why we have them. Gal, Vika, I'm always so excited to have you guys on. You are true Digital Boost rock stars.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Always a delight. And yeah, like Anna Maria said, any questions you guys have, feel free to pop them in the chat. So hopefully we can help you out, because keyword research is as much an art as it is a science. So sometimes something might come up that's, might not have been something that anyone encountered before, so we can try and resolve that. So without further ado, should we jump straight into it?
Yes,
I'll make always a ton of stuff to get
back, and I'll just be here to help facilitate. But I know that you guys pretty much, I'm just here for giggles,
moral support.
Yeah.
Please let me know if you can see my screen, and we'll get started. And thank you so much, Anna Maria, for such a warm welcoming. As usual, such a pleasure.
It looks good.
Awesome.
Okay, so yeah, keyword research. Stuff that we are going to be covering today. Obviously, what is keyword research? Why do we need to do it? What is it for? We'll do a little bit of a step-by-step to help you guys, do it yourself essentially. And your objective for today is going to be to create, an Excel sheet or a Google sheet with your keyword research, because it's really important to keep everything recorded, because that's how you're going to know what is going to be effective and what are you going to be doing, and then whether you should keep doing it, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's maybe tell you a little bit about who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah, before we jump straight into that, let us just quickly introduce ourselves. My name is Gal Kurman. I've been in a digital marketing space for about more than 8 years for now. Vika, my business partner, she's been amazing working in different industries, working in different, I would say, for different markets, not just New Zealand and Australia, but also overseas. And we have been primarily working with the small, medium businesses and help them to succeed with their strategies, with their paid media, lead generation, automation, email marketing. So we're very passionate about that. That's our true jam. And in terms of industry, we've been working with, it's primarily e-commerce, service providers, coaches, SaaS companies as well. So we're here to help you to get through the process of keyword research, because it's not just about finding the right keyword research and use it for Google ads. So let's think outside of box, and let's think about in a way that where you can use the keyword research, say, for example, your email marketing and having these catchy headlines, or on your social media accounts where you're using hashtags, right? So which will identify, and so your posts will be visible for even more people, right? So getting and expand where we can, right? So that's why keyword research is very, very crucial for your marketing activities. So let's go step by step with that. So what is the keyword research? Again, as we talked through the processes and the key tools that we'll be using, keywords, it's basically like you finding your main primarily keywords that you'll be focusing on. It's like a basic and foundation of your keywords research, right? And then what you do is from these seed keywords, you're going to identify the kind of groups, right? And you will break those lists for a few different groups. and you will be adding those keywords according to your market, according to your what type of keywords people putting in to find your website, all of this. So we're going to show you today, step by step, how to do that and which tool to use. So I would say where we're using keywords, it's mainly SEO, paid media, as we said, like social media, email marketing, and where to find these keywords ideas and how to find the best way to identify them is basically just to pick up your key channels. So whatever there will be, Google AdWords. And today we're going to show you the tool that it's free to use. It's very convenient. You can find all of your keywords. You can see what type of keywords people are searching for in your locations and how much there will be for you to rank for these particular keywords, right? So there's a few number of tools that we use, and we're going to show you a few today. And obviously, we want you to prioritize and not just overwhelm yourself with the keywords, because you can go far and beyond your seed keywords. So what we want you to do is to identify the seed keywords list, and then break it down into the few sections and prioritize the key keywords that you'll be testing and analyzing afterwards. So when you think about keywords, let's think about people who are struggling to, or who's got questions, right? And the best solution they can see, it's on your product or your service, right? So to find out what type of keywords people are using, we like to see like Google Trends, for example. These are the tools that we mentioned in our previous sessions before, but we're going to show you again today how to use that. Plus, we also will be thinking about like how to find the seed keywords, right? So for the seed keywords themselves, they're probably those seed keywords that worth targeting with the pages on your website. So for example, if we're talking about, say, organic baby clothing, clothes, that probably your key keywords will be buy organic baby clothes in Auckland, for example. And there is the exact phase match that you'll be using for your ads or for your SEO. So these are the key kind of prioritized keywords, if it makes sense. So, and then obviously when you're thinking about keywords, you also need to see what's happening in the market, who else is ranking for these type of keywords. And it's a good time for you to make a competitor research, right? So to identify what type of keywords they're using, how to rank on this, or how to maybe put these their keywords on the negative, because you don't want to show your ads or you don't want to come up on Google with organic search for some particular keywords that they're using, right? So a competitor's keyword research will definitely help you identify what's happening in the market, what's your competitors are doing, and everything. So that's really helpful for the keyword research. And obviously, we want to make sure that we know our niche, we know where we're using these keywords, we know the key channels. By channels, I mean whatever there will be your organic traffic or your paid traffic or your social media channels. And best way to identify your niche and really understand what type of keywords people are using is by going into the forums or into some groups. The tool that we showed you before, it's called Answer the Public. And obviously find these questions that people are asking for to find the perfect solution for that. So if you will provide with your keywords, with your content in general on your website, if you will provide the right answers for their questions, then you are probably 100% will meet their expectations, because you already know and you are bringing this solution to the table, right? And one of the key points is to analyze your keywords you're not just using keywords for the sake of just using keywords on your website, right? So you want to make sure you're using the right keywords, those keywords that people are actually searching for, and you are ranking for on Google. And obviously, during this little test, you can give yourself some time, like say 4 weeks, 6 weeks, to start learning, analyzing these keywords. And maybe after this time, you will do like a big comparison, like spreadsheet, where you will see, oh, here's my like core keywords list that I'll be using. There's the less prioritized keywords and things like that. So this will give you some indication on what type of keywords you should use on the first and second priorities. Let's talk about tools.
Yeah, let's talk about tools. So just before we jump into tools, if all of that was something you've never heard before, if you've never seen it again, don't worry, we'll take you through the whole process. So just to go back a little bit, the whole keyword, the purpose of us doing this is that we want to figure out what people are searching for. So what our pages on our website is going to be ranking for, so that people can see us better, people can find us in social media, and also it helps to drive what content we're going to be creating, so that we contribute to all of that, ranking, or if we're using the keyword research for ads. So essentially, the whole purpose of keyword research and the tools that we're going to be using is to figure out how relevant the queries and the keywords that we use are going to be to our business. So there might be a million searches for one keyword, but the relevancy is not really there. So that person is not necessarily going to become your customer because you haven't got the intent there, which is what we had up before. So what you're trying to figure out is to have that perfect balance of there being enough people that are searching for this particular keyword or this query, that it's not as competitive that you're never going to be ranking for it, or the keywords are going to be very, very expensive if you're using paid, and that it's relevant enough for your business to actually want to be appearing for. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing your keyword research, because you can, like I said, you can spend many hours on it, and you might not see results for a while if you don't keep those, 3 main considerations in place. So the tools that we use, there's quite a lot of different ones. There's a lot of free ones out there that you guys can use. Google Keyword Planner is probably one of the most popular ones, and it's one of the first places that people go to when they start. So, you don't limit yourself into what you think people are searching for. Do some really broad research as well, like I said, in various communities, because if people are looking to buy like organic baby clothing, maybe they're looking to buy linen or cotton or hemp. So
I'm sorry, can you guys see my screen? The keyword better? Maybe we can show it straight away. So say, for example, we're looking into...
So to use this, obviously you need to have a Google Ads account first. You can create it for free. I think Google gives you like $100 credit anyway. So you don't have to actually start spending money to be able to use this tool. But keep in mind, there are some rounding up. There is some rounding up that Keyword Google Planner does. So it's not going to give you the exact numbers with the exact queries, because when we talked about having buckets, so when you go and you look at what your business is doing, what your site is doing, you have the buckets of different topics, right? Different clusters. So you might be selling baby clothes, you might be selling baby food, baby toys. So those are the different topics. You can have subclusters in those as well. But what you're going to see here is you're not necessarily going to see every variation of every keyword that is related to organic baby clothing. So some sites, some tools do have a little bit more clarity into what those exact keywords might be. So it might be organic baby clothes, but the keywords in it might be baby clothes for toddlers, or for newborns, or for made in New Zealand, or something like that. So Google will tend to group a lot of those similar keywords into one bucket, and we'll just say, baby clothes has 1 million queries, million search queries, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be relevant for you to try and either bid on or try and create content for it, because what you want is higher intent. And just a little bit of caution, I guess, when you are using keyword research tools, especially Google Keyword Planner does tend to lump everything into things that it thinks are very similar. So I hope that makes sense so far. If you guys want us to go into a little bit more detail, let us know. But Google Keyword Planner is really great at showing you trends. So if you are a business that wants to take advantage of, like, I mean, if we're going with baby clothes here, maybe people are looking for Christmas trends or whenever the baby season is, you know, when most kids are born, when there's going to be baby showers, that kind of thing. So you might see specific trends over certain times of the year. Obviously, for Christmas would be a massive one. So you can see what the volume would look like and what people are searching for around those times, so that you can try and structure your content, structure your social media, your paid media campaigns to include those keywords at those certain times, because that's when people are going to be searching for them. So again, if that's really, really complicated, or if you guys want us to clarify a little bit more, do let us know. But essentially, any of the tools that you use, whether it's Google Keyword Planner, whether it's, but we have a few links in the presentation further on down, but all it does is to give you ideas into what people are going to be coming to you for. So what you're doing is kind of creating a library of what you think is going to be good for your business to be found for, and then you're going to be refining it over time and testing it and analyzing it. Because you might start off with something like organic baby clothes for toddlers, but over time it might evolve into cotton, like cotton or linen baby diapers or baby onesies, something like that. So there's a higher intent there, but you only know that it's going to be a keyword that's relevant for your business after you test it over some time. And by some time, for organic ranking, there's probably going to be a minimum of 6 months. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind, that you don't kind of see results for SEO changing overnight, but you do have to kind of persevere. So we've got a question here. If we could show us what we mean in a demo. Yeah, sure, we can do a demo. Gal, are you happy to share your screen again?
Yeah, sure. So I would say, so with this list, we're going to show you a few options. So the first one is, as Vika mentioned, Google Keyword Planner. And all you need to do for that is you're going to just have the, say, just the usual keyword AdWord account. And then you're going to go to Keyword Planner here. It's just a little bit tricky when you're sharing the screen. There's a
Google Ads forever.
Yeah.
While I was doing that, maybe I'll just mention to the two kind of different options that you can have when you are doing research. And if you have absolutely no idea where to start, what can be really helpful is to go to a competitor's website. So let's say we've got whatever organic baby clothes that we're selling, and maybe there's a different competitor that we want to see, you know, what keywords they have. We can actually use their website to generate us a list of seed keywords that Google Ads Keyword Planner could use to give us some more ideas. So maybe we can, what's a website? Baby Factory. So you can see at the top, you've got two options. One is start with keywords and one is start with the website. So if maybe if you just open another tab.
Yep. So baby clothes, you said?
Baby Factory is the company name.
Yep.
Or what is it? Nature Baby. That's a pretty niche one. So we'll just grab their URL there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's an URL, and you can copy it and put it on the keyword ideas list as well, and it will gives you the
let's do that now. So if you just go back to that same screen and go back to where we first started planning.
Yep.
And then
put it here.
We've got start with the website, which is to your right. No, not the filter. Yeah, the one on the right. And so again, you can see here, we can use the entire site. We can use only specific pages. And then we sit back and we enjoy while things started.
In here, you can see the list of keywords. You can see the average monthly searches. And probably this keyword here, as you can see, the more like competitive, like, right? So it's
so Baby City will be a competitor to Baby Factory, right?
And it will give you an indication on how much it will be for you to actually bid on this keyword, right? So one of the most expensive, I would say, is the cheap newborn clothes.
When you're in the screen, you can also click on top of each of the columns so that you kind of drill down by them. So you might want to see, what is the most expensive keyword. So if you, or like what gets the most traffic. So Baby City, very, very popular. Bassinet, New Zealand, also very, very popular. Cots, and then the actual clothing and so forth are a little bit less so. So that's interesting to see, because if you are selling exclusively baby clothing, all of these other queries might not be relevant for you. So this is something that you might want to actually avoid in your content or in your anything else, so that people that are looking for a cot that you're not going to sell, or maybe you do want them to come through, because if they're looking for a cot, they're probably going to be looking for things to put in there as well, and all the different clothing. So think about what the intent might be, and how relevant it's going to be, and whether it's worth putting time and effort into creating content or budget behind those particular queries, and how it relates to your business.
I'm just going to put the forecast. The forecast, for example, we want to see how much there will be for you to, how many clicks you will get, how much the average CPC will be for you. So usually it shows, but yeah, it's just maybe me today. For some reason, it doesn't want to show up the because maybe we picked the competitor search. So when we do the ideas, you're gonna go to the first. Just put the keywords in it without putting competitor. Maybe that's why it's not, doesn't want to show that way. But usually you will see how many clicks you will get for certain amount of like money you're going to spend on a daily budget, right? So daily budget, say you might spend $20, and then it will show you how many clicks you will get, how many impressions you will get, and what your CTR is going to be. CTR is like click-through rate. It's then from how much people will see it and how many people will click on your ad. So that's
in your forecast, you can also edit your daily budget. So if you're spending, let's say, instead of $8, maybe, Gal, if you want to update it to, I don't know, much.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a lag, I think, when you're sharing a screen.
When it's sharing the screen, yeah, it's a bit overlag.
By the time I say something, you've already moved on.
Yes, right.
So let's spend $100 or something, or $200, right?
Yeah, doesn't want to do. Maybe because we use the competitive site first, so not data for this metric. But usually, when you type in your desired budget, that's going to indicate and show you.
Yeah.
I wanted to also show you how you can use this tool and export this data to create your. You're just going to go and you can export it in CSV format, so that way you can use it on a nice Excel sheet. We like just to use it in an Excel sheet, and I think it's the.
You can use Google Sheets as well. I think that's probably Google wants you to keep everything in Google so that it can see all your data and all your information.
Yeah, definitely.
So
we've got a question here. It says, what
does
CTR and CPC stand for?
Yep, so CTR is click-through rate. So that's the rate at how many people that are seeing your ad or your organic listing are going to click on it. So for example, if 100 people see your ad or see your organic ranking, and maybe 5 of them actually decide to click on it because they're interested, then that's going to be 5% CTR. So on average, kind of lowish end is about 3%. depending, of course, where you are on the page, because if you're right at the bottom, you might have a very low CTR because people don't scroll all the way to the bottom for that reason. So CTR is how likely someone is going to be to click on your ad. CPC is cost per click, so how expensive a keyword is, so how high the competition for it is. So as you saw before, Baby City NZ is probably got a lot of volume, and if our baby factory, if we're that company, we're the competitor, but we want to bid on their name, it's going to be quite expensive for us to do that.
So there's a question here that says, how do I get the $100 to start? Google always tells me that if I spend $75 first, then I get $100.
I think I haven't started a new account for a while, so I think when you sign up, you get $100 credit. But they do, I think, expect you to put some of your own money behind it. But to actually create an account, you don't need to spend any money. It's just that if you want to get the credit to trial stuff out, but to create an account doesn't cost you any money.
Cool. And I think that for some reason, I feel like we have a promo with Google Ads. I'll have a look for you guys.
Yeah, the promo, yes, there is a $150 voucher that they will
with
give
Digital
you.
Boost, right? I think.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm just saying like Google in general.
Yep. Yeah, cool. I'm going to have a look on our site because I actually think that we have like a provider offer from Google about Google Ads. So I'll have a look for you guys. There's another question here is, what is the average CTR?
So average CTR is going to be fairly specific for each industry. So you kind of have to like consider what the intent behind it is. So if someone is looking for a new house, then the CTR might be a bit lower because the competition is very high and the intent is maybe just like research. If it's a long tail keyword, so if someone's looking for house 1.3 million in I don't know, Birkenhead with 5 bedrooms, there's going to be a very long tail keyword, very specific. So the CTR on that is going to be higher because if you match it, then it's very, very relevant to whoever's searching for it. So there are industry standards that you can Google as well for all kinds of industries, whether it's like SaaS or e-commerce. On average, like I said, for paid, like around 3-ish% on a really kind of broad thing. But you want to aim for probably 10%. Because it means that your content is engaging enough and relevant enough to that person. And I think we've got another question as well.
Thoughts on targeting competitor brand keywords.
So
and there was a request to actually just show how we look at the competitor again through the site, the keyword site, like looking at the competitor. But what I've done is I've actually asked that person, hey, could you pop in your competitor and we'll have a look, because I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know who you are.
Yeah, so if you can type in your competitor, that would be it, or somebody in your industry that you know is a competitor, and we can have a look at that specifically.
Yeah.
Yep. And what we also like to use, these are the tools that probably will go to for both of us, and Vika probably agrees. We both love SEMrush. SEMrush, it costs you about $150.
But you can have a free trial.
Yeah, you
can start it for free and do it for free. So we tend to use quite a lot of these because there's a lot of really helpful spying that you can do with them. So essentially what it does is that, I don't know, Gal, if you want to set up a free account or if you just want to log into ours, just to do a bit of a sample, but essentially.
And then pop that competitor site into the Q&A.
Yeah, and we can have a look. Yep,
sure.
And the second one is, we call it Uber Suggest. So that's called Uber Suggest. And that's the free tool from Neil Patel as well. And it gives you so much data, so much indication. It's got a free and paid version. So but paid version, I don't think it's cost much. It's around $20. But that gives you so much ideas on what are the keyword ideas might be for your market, for your industry, for your location. What are the keywords by traffic? What is the competing domains? Here we go. You don't even need to find your competitors. It's all here. And then obviously, it gives you the paid kind of difficulty, SEO difficulty type of insights. And the search volume in United States, for example, is 20 to 200,000, and it will gives you like indication on showing the search volume by the date. And I think it's somehow linked with the Google Search Console that you can set up for free for yourself. But what's really useful here is like a CPC, just in general, cost per click, how much they will be costing you if you will be targeting the whole United States, which we don't recommend to do in a whole. We've got a clients in Australia, and when they are spending all of the money just for the whole entire Australia, it's like too much. So that's why we suggest to have very specific location, very specific keywords. So that's why it will be cheaper for you, but you will get a better results, right? And
Cal, do you want to just let me share my screen, because I've got the SEM Rush.
Oh, you got it. Oh, nice, awesome.
So, because we wanted to look at that form day spa. So I've just brought it up here. One moment, corner.
Form day spa. Oh, I think it's in Albany.
All right. Okay, so here we go. This is the SEM Rush. I think I've logged into like a free account so that you guys can see what the functionality of it would be. So all I've done is put in the URL. Again, you can do this for your own site, which is what you want to do to monitor your own growth, or you can do it for any competitor. Some of the tools that we recommend are depending on what your area is. So some are really effective for Australia, for US, some like SEM Rush is pretty good for New Zealand and Australia and everything. But you can also just at the top of my screen, if you can see, narrow it down by whatever country. But what's really helpful is to see how much they're getting and from where. So you can see, for example, how much volume they're getting from organic traffic each month and how much they're getting from paid. So they're not spending that much money on paid. They've got about a few hundred keywords, but the majority is going to be coming from their organic. So that's going to be, free, I guess. But here is really helpful to see what they're actually ranking for. So the position, obviously their name, that's as a business, that's what you always want to be ranking highly for. How much approximately it would cost. So if I am maybe I'm Vika spa, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I want to siphon as much traffic off for my spa and I have an unlimited budget. So I'm going to go ahead and bid on their keywords. So any time anyone is looking for my spa, also if I'm mispronouncing it, I'm sorry, someone correct me if I'm wrong. If I want to try and kind of get those people to come to my business instead, because I have a 50% off voucher or something. So I could bid on them. However, it's going to cost me astronomically more because I'm a competitor. Reason for that being that Google identifies the fact that my URL, vikaspa.com, is not the same one and it's not the same business. So from their perspective, they want to provide as good experience and as relevant experience to the user as possible. When this user sees my ad, I'm not showing them what they're looking for. I'm showing them something arguably, that's completely the opposite of what they're looking for. So for me to be able to do that, it's going to be costing me a lot of money because I am not that business. If I have an unlimited budget, great, I can do that. However, that's not the only consideration that Google has, because if I'm super irrelevant to that person, they might actually reduce my visibility because I'm not a relevant person. So I hope that makes sense, but essentially if you're bidding on competitor keywords or competitor names, you have to kind of prove to Google that you're doing that because you're still relevant. So this is something that's very popular in the SaaS community, so the software as a service, where you've seen a lot of like Monday or Asana, and there's a ton of comparison pages. So they say, like, why is Asana better than Monday, or Asana versus Monday? So although you're using the name of that brand and you're bidding on it, you can kind of argue to Google that we are still relevant because this is a comparison that we have, without saying just outright, like someone looks for Asana and Monday is the ad saying Monday is the best, and the page is just Monday, Monday, Monday. So these are both like task management platforms, if you guys haven't heard of them before. So if you are going to be doing that, you need to have either a comparison or a testimonial or something that would justify you bidding on that keyword, so that from Google's perspective and from the user's perspective, it's still a relevant search. But keep in mind, no one has an unlimited budget. And even if you did, Google will still reduce your visibility if it doesn't think that the page that you're sending someone to is not relevant to their interests.
So we've got a question here, Vika. No, that's so informative. Sure. Honestly, really great, and makes a lot of sense. So just a question here about, for the keywords, if we were to create a Google ad, where do we put the keywords? Is it in the heading?
No. So when we've done, I think, a few different sessions on AdWords and stuff, or Google Ads before. The way that you structure your paid ad campaign is you've got your campaign theme. So let's say here it's massages, right? Underneath that, you have things called ad groups. So ad groups are those little buckets that you have. So if you're doing your keyword research, you could also use that for your ad groups. So if massage is our general campaign theme, we could have pregnancy massage, we could have therapeutic massage, we could have relaxation massage. So those three different subtopics could be our ad groups. Within those ad groups, we have our specific keywords. So we might say therapeutic massage therapist in Albany, therapeutic massage therapist in Birkenhead, or whatever other things, like kind of at a blank for different types of therapeutic massage, but maybe like muscle relaxation therapist, just kind of synonyms, right? So all of those different keywords that we found out based on our keyword research, we would put under the bucket where it makes sense, which is our ad group bucket. Keep in mind, you don't want to have too many keywords in there when you're talking about paid, because if you have more than like 20 different keywords, the ad that you write for them is not going to be very specific to those keywords, right? So if you have like 1,000 keywords because you've got massage therapists for every possible suburb on the North Shore, your ad is not necessarily going to be relevant to someone in Devonport when your actual ad text says best massage maybe therapist on the North Shore from Albany to Torbay. So you have to kind of consider what keywords you use. This is kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent into paid ads, but you want to be as consistent as possible with the keywords that you have, the ad text that you have, and the landing page content that you have. So if your keyword is massage therapist Albany, then that's your keyword. So using phrase match, this is just a bit of advice for any ad campaign you ever run. Never, ever, ever have broad match. If you don't know what it means, go back to one of our previous presentations when we did Google Ads. Phrase or exact only, because otherwise you're just going to waste a lot of your own money. And if you have that keyword, you want to include it in your Google ad text. So the actual words that appear when someone searches for massage therapist Albany. And then once they come to your landing page, whether it's your homepage or a specific page of the services that you do, you will have we are, well, maybe not those specific words, but we are the best massage therapist in Albany. We have been in Albany forever. We are awesome massage therapists. Check out our therapeutic massage reviews and testimonials. So you're kind of using a lot of those keywords in the landing copy as well, so that Google can identify that, yep, you said that you want people to find you if they're looking for massage therapists. Then you talked about it in your ad, then they clicked it, your click-through rate is good because it's relevant to what they're searching for. And when they come to your landing page, they can see the stuff that they searched for is right there. So it makes sense. So they hopefully contact you. So that's a bit of, I think, a monologue for you guys. So I'm gonna maybe leave it there.
One thing I think we do have to mention one more tool. It's called Spyfu, and I just put the link here. So again, with the competitor keyword research tool, it's probably one of the also go-to tools. But with this tool, you can kind of like a pro tip for non-professionals. I would say try to use it, sign up for the free trial, and maybe 1 week you will play with SEMrush and sign up for the free trial. Don't forget to cancel it if you don't want to use and pay for that. Another week you play with Spyfu to find more about competitors research and everything. And then the next one could be like Ahrefs or some other tools that you like, right? But don't stress yourself don't overwhelm yourself with these tools. I would say like try to pick like 2-3 main keywords or main tools and use it.
Yeah.
And play with the free trials. It's also kind of good practice also to use that.
I
Spyfu is great.
personally prefer SEMrush. Like, they don't pay me to say this or anything. I just prefer it because it has both the paid as well as the organic stuff here. So it's just all in one place. Keyword Research Planner is like predominantly focused on paid because obviously it comes from Google Ads, right? Things like Ahrefs is going to be mostly focused on organic because they are all about SEO. So this is just for me easier to use. Again, use whatever you like, anything you want, that's fine, as long as it makes sense for you. But yeah, make sure that you don't cast the net too wide, because you want to focus on, if you're just starting out, pick 2 or 3 main topics, and have maybe a dozen keywords in each of them, whether it's for paid or for your organic stuff, just to have somewhere to start off.
Yeah.
Over time, you'll see what makes sense.
So I just got a suggestions to remind about negative keywords, because it could be another topic for the discussion for another 30 minutes, but I just wanted to remind you, so you don't need to pay for the traffic for the keywords you don't want to be showing up for. So what we mean by that, we really encourage you to use negative keywords on your ads account, because every time you don't use it, you are overspending and you are showing the ads not for yourself but for your competitors, right? So it's really important for you to keep in mind when you add in like your main keywords, also add the negative keywords. And how to find them, Vika, maybe you can just quickly run through.
Yeah, so negative keywords, there's actually a lot of pre-made lists online that you can download and add them into your negative keyword section if you are running ads. Just as an example, so this is actually a good example because this is a spa, right? So they do words like massage, facial, all kinds of stuff. However, massage can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people depending on what kind of massage you're looking to get. So with that in mind, negative keywords are very important because you want to filter out a certain kind of traffic. So there's all kinds of, like I mentioned, lists online you can just download that have like swear words or like adult themes or, anything else. So competitors, for example, might be something you actually want to filter out, because if you show up for them, it might be too expensive. So your daily budget will, go out the window as soon as someone clicks on your ad. So yeah, in terms of adding them in when you are setting up your campaign, and again, go back to some of our previous videos where we go into it in detail, that's basically one of the best ways to make sure that you have relevant traffic. You don't waste too much money as well, and this is something that you want to keep coming back to at least weekly or monthly by looking at your search terms. So search terms, this is for organic or for paid, this is what someone physically types in. So they might write in massage therapist in Albany that's cheap, or free massage Albany. You don't want to show up for things like free. So by looking at the search terms, you can have free as your negative keyword, so that anytime someone wants that's not something that you want to offer, so you can add that to your negative keywords, as well as any adult themes that might come up for that massage that you don't want to be showing up for. So this is probably top 5 most important things. So we've got looking at your search terms, adding your negative keywords, making sure that your match type is either phrase or exact, not broad, doing your keyword research to understand what is going to be relevant for your business and for the user, being consistent with your keyword ad landing page, or not ad if you're doing organic, but landing page and keyword. And what was the other one? I think just not doing too many things at once. So limit yourself to maybe 2 or 3 main buckets or ad groups if you're doing paid, and having about a dozen at most keywords in them, so that you can be consistent. So any questions on
I
all
think
of that?
we do have 2 questions though.
Many.
What is the keyword? What is the negative keywords? And the second one is about how we can structure and show how we can structure. I'm just looking for the spreadsheets to show you guys how we structure the keyword research.
Mhm.
While you can answer the first one, what is the negative keywords?
So negative keywords, like I said, is basically a filter. So if I'm just going to see if I can find a, oops.
So there is an option on Google Ads where you can add this keyword research.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and find an account that I can show you guys. I wasn't as prepared as Gal was with all of her windows to share.
I can show.
Yeah, do you mind? Just if you go into Google Ads so that we can
Yeah, sure.
look at,
Sure.
like,
Yes. If you can stop.
where it's located.
Yes, stop sharing your screen.
1 second. Okay, go ahead.
So basically, the way it looks like for the Google Ads. So if we just go to here, you want to show how it looks like the negative.
Yeah, just the left panel basically where the keywords and the search terms are.
Planner.
No, just like in your account.
Mm-hmm.
This is our test account.
This is what it takes. This is what it takes. This is what it takes when you're sharing the Google AdWords and we doing the Zoom meeting, and every time we share it, it just takes a while.
Your computer's just very tired.
Oh, maybe just me, yeah. So you're saying for the account here,
anything, any of like our old test accounts, so that we can see where the search terms live.
Mm-hmm. What do we called it? Baby close.
No. What I mean is not in a planning stage, but an existing campaign.
You mean an yeah, got it.
Yeah. Sorry, I think I misspoke. So we wanted to have a look at what negative keywords look like, or what search terms look like. So if we go on the left where you guys, when you set up your Google Ads account, this is something that you'll see.
So you will see the lines of keywords here. So you can add, there'll be an option on negative keywords. Come on.
She did click on it, everyone. It's just taking forever to load for whatever. When you do it in your own one, I guess it'll
well, that's kind of happening.
So
there was kind of are you able to please repeat the 5 necessary things in your display paid ads?
I can try and remember. The recording will definitely have it in case I forget. But sorry, I was just off the top of my head, I didn't write it down. So essentially it's being consistent with what you have. So being consistent with your keyword, your text ad copy, your landing page. So having all of those the same as much as possible. So it's honestly, Google Ads is not a time for creativity. It's just about being super, super consistent. Mm-hmm. The second one is having not too many things at once. So if you're going to have organic or paid campaigns that you focus on, having 2 or 3 buckets of topics at most. And within those, about a dozen keywords if you're using it for paid media. For organic, you actually want to go more detailed, because then it's a longer keyword, so it's higher intent. But anyway, but yeah, not too many things at once. Having negative keywords, so that's your filters for your traffic. And yeah, Guy was just showing us where to add those in.
So you just gotta go to keywords, negative keywords, and then you're gonna select the campaign where exactly you want to add these particular negative keywords, and then you just simply click save, and they will be saved, and you wouldn't be like running your campaigns for this particular.
Before we save that, Gal, do you mind just clicking into the search terms and for the other 2-3 things I think we were talking about? So yeah, having your negative keywords as a filter, being consistent, using phrase match. So you can see here, like apple cider vinegar weight loss. This is a search term, so someone actively typed that in. but the
Sometimes
keywords that we
you just
have
need, yeah.
is going to be different. So Gal, do you mind just adding the column of keyword if you haven't got it already?
And I'm just going to pop in here. If you haven't looked in the chat, I've actually put, Gal and Vika did a session called Google Ads Increase Your Quality Score. And I've popped the link to that session that you can view through Digital Boost, and I'll pop it in all of the chats actually. But you'll need to watch that through the Digital Boost platform. But it's there for you if you need it. And there was another question that says, can you please show us how you format this in your spreadsheet?
Yeah. That's something I'm gonna just give me a sec.
just before we click out of here, maybe let's just wrap up with the search term stuff. So on the left, search terms is what someone's actively typed in. So this is the one we have for the paid campaign, but you can see the same thing for your organic listings when you go to your Google Analytics. So let's say you've got apple cider vinegar for hair loss treatment, but what we're looking to sell is apple cider vinegar, which is the thing on the very, very right of the screen. But maybe we don't want anyone that has hair loss issues ever to come to our site and buy our apple cider vinegar for whatever reason. So what we can actually do is have hair as a negative keyword. So every time it comes up, and of course, keep in mind, like if there's only one click a month, probably doesn't make much difference. But if there's a lot of clicks for things that you don't want to be showing up for and it's costing you a lot of money, that's the kind of stuff that you want to be adding into your negative keywords.
There's another question here about negative keywords, and it says, can negative keywords also be used to get more reach? Like say with knitwear, a negative keyword would be pilling. So could you use that keyword then to boost your items that don't pill? I guess that wouldn't be a negative keyword though. It would be a keyword. So you could.
It would be a keyword, So negative keyword is, like we said before, a filter. So if you put in a negative keyword, then you're not going to be showing up for whatever that negative keyword is. If you want to be showing up for things like no pilling knitwear, your keyword is no pilling knitwear. Knitwear, sorry.
Yeah, it would be like if you want to show up, if you don't have like a physical location, then maybe a keyword would be like, a negative keyword would be near me or something, because people might be
that one is a little bit of a tricky one, because you actually do want to be local to people, because Google really, really prefers if you're local. So you don't have to have a physical location, but if you have indicated to Google that you are located in, I don't know, South Auckland, because that's where your Google Ads credit card is going, or that's where your business is registered, you don't have to have your address showing. But because you're a local business, that still might be in your benefits, because it will be beneficial for organic and for paid. Even if someone searches near me, Google will be like, okay, cool, well, this person's in South Auckland, and so is this person that's looking for the stuff. This is an online business, so obviously they're not going to go to their house, but it's still like near me is kind of relevant. So I would actually not negate that, unless for whatever reason, like you don't want people near you to find you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes total sense. I'm just gonna.
So I'm just there's one.
Still struggling with your Google Ads thing.
No, it's not Google Ads anymore. It's I'm gonna show the keyword structure that we used. Just kind of give you a bit of indication on how it might looks like for you, but for this is just the general list. So you might have a different tabs, right? So you might have like a one general list of keywords, your seed keywords. There could be another one, and then you might have a main pillars for your keywords, right? So that looks like this. Let me show it. Yes, so you might just break it down, like say, for example, you've got a theme on your, so it's like your structure-wise for Google Ads, it might be Google AdWords themes, right? So you might have one ad group for feminism, another group for celebrity or artists, another for art prints, right? So you might have those few different options. And for the search volume, you might have this
is monthly search volume, by the way. Yeah. This is how many people approximately search for this thing monthly. And depending on where you're located as well, so you might be like it'll be different for each country, right? And each area as well.
With this, for example, Yeah, for this, for example, Form Spa, right? So with Form Spa, they've got a free location, one in Ponsonby, in Albany, and somewhere in the city. So you might have Form Spa, Albany, Form Spa, Ponsonby, things like that, right? So structuring it this way probably will gives you more kind of sense. So you wouldn't get confused. That will be clear for you to see and find where these keywords located. So that's just like an example, like quick example. And I've got a last slide to share, and we can.
Can we go back to that that
keyword
spreadsheet one more time, because there's a question?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, there's actually two of the same question. It's saying, what is keyword difficulty, and where did you get keyword difficulty from?
So keyword difficulty is how difficult it is to show up for that keyword, how difficult it is to rank for that keyword, how much competition there is, how expensive it is, and how good the competition is against you. So where we getting this one particular from, I think this one was from SEMrush and a bunch of other places. So it's if the competitors have a ton of content, it's all very high quality, they've been around for 20 years, there's 100 million competitors, the keyword difficulty is going to be high, right? So it's out of 100. If there's not that much competition, then because maybe it's a keyword that's fairly niche, or there's not that much volume, so people aren't putting like a lot of effort behind it, then the difficulty is going to be low. So what you want to do as a person that wants to have traffic that converts is to find keywords where the keyword difficulty is not very high, but has a good amount of volume and a good amount of intent.
And Google Ads gives you that number, doesn't it? It tells you that number. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
So it's just basically how much effort and time and potentially money you're going to have to be putting behind whatever query is.
Is a low number better, or is it better to have a
it's a balance, right? So
it's like a bigger difficulty.
It might be good, but it's a low number, but there might also not be enough volume. So the number might be like 3 because no one's trying to create content or rank for that keyword, but there's also 20 searches a year for it for that reason. So you have to kind of again have that balance, right?
So there's another question here. It says, where would you find the CTR, the click-through rate, for specific industries?
So what I tend to do is just figure out like whatever industry it might be, like let's say message or something like that. And if it's an area, and just Google it, honestly, because these industry CTR averages are always being updated. So there's no kind of a point of having yourself like a list of it, because there's millions and millions and millions of queries coming through all the time. So there's websites that exist specifically to collate that information. So whether it's for, again, like for like supplements or for baby clothing or for something else, Googling it, I think, is going to be your fastest answer there.
Again, using this tool like a SEMrush, right, it will give you an exact indication on what particular industries, and if you got a like company in mind, you're going to put this in, so you will see all the data, and you will see the competition. From the competition, you will find out what's the average CTR for this industry. It might be. It also depends on the location, right? So using SEMrush, it's actually like a good tool for you to give this exact data on,
or any of the other tools. Don't just use SEMrush because we use it a lot. Like I would say try out different ones, see what works for you, because you might really love Spyfu, or you might really love Ahrefs because you're focusing on SEO as much as possible. So there's a ton of really good tools. Most of them are going to be free, at least for some period. Some are free all the time. So yeah, that's the main thing. And the step-by-step stuff that we kind of covered already, right? So it's what is it that we're going to be focusing on? What are our topics? What are our buckets? Where are we going to get this information from? So don't just think that, people are looking for baby clothes, but also go into like the baby communities or Facebook groups or whatever it is and see what specific things people want to know. They're like, maybe I'm concerned that this baby onesie that I got is not, flame retardant or something like that. So you want to make sure that these are the concerns that you actually focus on. And this is one of like the secrets to really good, fast SEO, is going to go be a spy in this community, figure out what people are concerned with or want to know most about, write a really, really good piece of content on it, put it up on your site, and there you go, problem solved. Ton of free traffic, really high quality intent, and really relevant as well.
Having original content, that's the key.
Exactly.
Right?
Original is very important.
High engaging content.
Yeah.
So
we didn't talk about it, I think, before as well, in terms of like, how do you rank, basically. So maybe check out one of the previous sessions as well, where we go into a bit more detail. But yeah, you do have to put in the research and the effort for it to work out.
Wrapping up this beautiful session, we gonna work on your keyword bank. That's what we really encourage you to do today. Use your keywords tools, pick one or two and start using them. Analyze and optimize your keywords, like putting them in a nice structure and start using them everywhere, not just in the on your Google ads, but also your Facebook ads, your social media, your email marketing tools, everywhere. So,
but also keep track, so that
keep tracking,
definitely have Google Analytics on your site, so that you can see how many people are going to find you from that keyword that you used. Because then over the next 6 months, and I say 6 months because it does take forever with organic, for example, or if you're having paid, you still want to keep track of that. Then you can see that most people are finding you from keyword A, but most people are actually becoming a customer from keyword B. So let's focus on having more content and more traffic for keyword B, right?
And as always, we always open, if you send your questions to us, we always happy to answer them. And we will be sending those slides to Anna-Marie straight after the session. So you will have a chance to also get these slides. And I think we've got a last one. Such a great session as always, so much information.
Thanks,
Would love to see another one on the same topic, but perhaps showing a demo from inception to completion. Thank you for the learning. Yeah, we would, Lara, thank you so much for your comment. Yeah, we'll definitely will do more kind of interactive and more, like workshop sessions with you guys. And as always, such a pleasure to jump in on that digital.
Yeah, feel free to give us feedback on like stuff that you found useful, stuff you think you actually want to do more on, because the whole point of this is to be as interactive, kind of, even though we can't really see you or hear you, as possible, because we want to improve the next sessions, right? So if you guys want more live examples, if you want more like clarification of why we're doing this thing, or like tools that we're using, or whatever it is, right? Just let us know.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for coming on today, sharing your wisdom, your nuggets, and really just giving us a better idea on how we can use keywords to expand our reach and build our businesses. A super important, very relevant topic always. So as usual, a very informative session. And I do love, in the past, if you haven't been with Gao and all of us in the past, they've often, I'm so sorry, I think that is actually
so popular.
I can't get it to stop. I don't know how to make it stop. I'm so sorry. They actually have done a lot of things where you pop your website in and they check out your website. It's always fun. So the sessions are usually super interactive. And this was as well. I thought this was a really great session. I got a lot out of it. And we're going to delve into, so we talked about Google Ads here. I've given you the link to the session on Google Ads, but I've also, we have an upcoming session on Facebook ads. So we're doing a revamp. So if you're interested in learning how to do Facebook ads, I've got David from Dimple Digital coming in to do that. I know that just because people start talking about ads and they just go, oh my God.
All good. Look, there's a ton of stuff out there, right? So there's a lot of that we can do with keyword research. I guess it's kind of interactive, but not really, because when we do it, it's mostly just like copy pasting a lot of stuff and just reading and putting your like spy hat on and going to, find out what it is
totally.
that your competitors are doing and what you want to copy. So if I was to do this live, it'll just be kind of boring because you guys just be watching me breathe and click. Of course, I could explain it, but for the most part, it's kind of going back and thinking, what does my business want to say? What are the main things I want to focus on? What are people going to be finding me for? And then what can I do about it? Right.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself. And we'll see you next time.